Welcome to Trash Talk MMA.
Smile on my face, behind my back, they talk trash.
The #1 podcast for news and insight that matters in the world of mixed martial arts. Brought to you live and unfiltered from all four corners of the globe by MMA aficionado Antoine Pelche.
Yo, and welcome to the Trash Talk MMA podcast. I'm your host, Antoine Pelche, and on today's episode, I have another special guest, this time also emanating from the Tiger Muay Thai family, Miss Shauna Restivo. Shauna, how you doing?
Good, how are you?
I'm doing excellent. It's, what do we got, Monday, March 9th? I believe it was your birthday this past weekend?
It was, on Friday.
All right, so you're recovered and ready to train hard?
By recover, you mean not drinking and being old, yes. I am.
Yeah, I went up this weekend to, on that fundraiser that Tiger Muay Thai does.
Yes.
Along with Sam Baston and Joey Angelis and John Priest. And, we poisoned ourselves.
They do a lot of great community work, Tiger does.
Yeah,
so.
No, and it was cool. I've actually never done any charity work in my life. So
Why not in Thailand?
That was the very first time. And, it was a rewarding experience. And there's a beautiful resort up there. And, we all drank too much.
Yep, it tends to happen here.
But now it's Monday, and we're back in the lab. We're back working, and gonna sweat it out. So what's on your schedule this week?
It's kind of hard not to sweat in Thailand. This week it's fight week, so a lot of training, a lot of focus, and attempt not to get hurt.
Okay, so Shauna, you are a Muay Thai fighter.
I am.
With a record of?
It's even, 5-5.
5-5, and you're from St. Louis, Missouri.
Yes.
32 years old.
Don't say that out loud too many times.
So that's interesting. I mean, your story is going to be interesting for a multitude of reasons. First of all, you're my first female guest on the show, so thank you for coming in.
Oh,
I
my
pride
pleasure.
myself on diversifying my guests and their experiences in martial arts, and I think yours is an interesting case that we can tackle right now. So you've been training for how long?
With Muay Thai for maybe about 6 years or so. In Thailand, I've been here for 2.
Okay, and prior to that, you mentioned that you were training kickboxing back home.
Yeah, like in St. Louis, that's one of the reasons I moved here. In St. Louis, you don't do a lot with the elbows and the clinching because technically you can't. Especially in St. Louis, they're not interested in Muay Thai rules. A lot of people hold the view that the clinch is boring because they do not understand it.
Yep.
So they like the K1 rules where you just knee once and then have to let go. They like more of the action. And I have the utmost respect for Muay Thai, its traditions, everything, and I just wanted to be the best at it, so I came to the Mecca.
So, before getting into Muay Thai, though you had an exposure in kickboxing, how did an appreciation or a desire to get involved with kickboxing even start? Like, what was your introduction into combat sports?
To be honest, I never was involved in very physical sports. I'm the youngest of 4 girls with no brothers, and it breaks my mom.
So your father must have been a really bad person.
No, it's actually my mother that it breaks her heart. My dad is excited because I'm the most boyish, which obviously I'm not too boyish, but he's like, yep, I don't have sons, you're going to be the boy.
You're going to be the ass whooper of the family?
So I played some softball and a little bit of basketball. I hated soccer because there was so much running in it. Yep. I was actually kind of a lazy athlete when I was younger. I went to college. I didn't do anything except drinking. Those were my drinking Olympics. And then I became a personal trainer. My degree is in nutrition science and fitness. I slowly got into triathlons. I did a half Ironman.
Jesus.
And wanted something different. Did some research. And it seemed that Thai athletes were some of the most well-conditioned athletes in the world.
Yeah, it amazes me when you walk around the camp here, or just anywhere in Thailand, just the general fitness and low body fat percentage of people in general. People are just walking around shredded, and they're not going out of their way to be like that. It seems like a combination of the heat, the sweating,
diet too.
The diet, a lot of brown rice, just a lot of clean proteins, a lot of green veggies, a lot of healthy fresh fruit.
Yeah.
And then this constant state of being outdoors and being active. And these guys are just shredded.
They are.
You know,
they are.
And they're not doing anything particular. Like us as Westerners, we kind of have to go out of our way to change away from the mainstream lifestyle to get even remotely close to that.
We do. And we have too much temptation to deviate from a healthy and active lifestyle. Yeah. A lot of people even use something as simple as it being colder outside to not be active outside, when I loved running in cold weather. Like, that was my favorite time. I just loved the gear and, you know, the fresh feeling. But here, I even respect them. The Thai trainers can be like, oh yeah, I fight next week. They don't run, they don't do anything, and for some reason they can last 20 times longer than I do, and I run every day.
Yeah, it's really the difference between
a lifestyle
and binge work, binge exercise, or binge clean eating.
Which is my week this week. No.
I was blessed with a mother who loves to cook, and I lived for 10 years in France, so I'm you know, eating is a religion there, you know, and it's diversity, and it's hard. It's hard to break away from those patterns and those rich, tasty foods.
Very difficult.
You know, but there's something about the environment out here that I find it a lot easier to remain, or, you know, to get on a healthy pace, and you know, and there's a support system here to encourage that.
Well, I think part of that is because you're surrounded by so many people that are into it, and when you have that support and when you have inspirations to do better and be better, it's easier for you. Whereas at home, you have to actively seek out a larger group of those people.
And I think as individuals, I know if I choose to prioritize something in my life, I go full blast at it. And just living healthy and being athletic has never been something that I've put that 100% dedication into.
Yeah.
I mean, in your case, it seems like you were interested at an academic level already.
I was, yeah.
And that's probably really benefited you before you came here, before you got involved in kickboxing and Muay Thai, to just understand how the body works, understand the right nutrition, etc.
Yes.
So you did your studies, you did some kickboxing. What led you to Thailand?
I don't know. I mean, when you go to a class and they call it Muay Thai and you don't really learn Muay Thai, like when I sit there and I watch videos on the internet, I'm like, wow, what I'm doing is not that similar. It's not that similar. And granted, I love some of my coaches, and man, my boxing here is better than a bunch of the Thai girls, you know, because of that.
Okay.
I just didn't have some of the experience that I wanted. So I applied for a job, like kind of like an agency that places you different places. So I got a job. We had an orientation in Bangkok, and I'm like, I'll just go teach, and then find a gym and learn for a year while I'm, you know, making money and doing it.
So your goal was really to get to Thailand as a teacher, but then to learn Muay Thai.
Yeah.
So but what did that stem from? What, like, you really wanted to learn the Thai culture, or the culture of Muay Thai?
Both. Both, actually. And the job, I wasn't really into ever being an academic teacher. I mean, as a personal trainer, I felt like I was a teacher every day of my life.
Okay.
But never to younger students. That was definitely an experience. But that was more or less just the income.
Okay.
My goal was to completely embody like a Thai culture with Muay Thai. I wanted to learn the sport, but I get into the spirituality, the Buddhism, everything like that. And I just wanted to live a different life for a little bit and have that experience. Yeah,
that's interesting as well. Coming out to Phuket, you see all sorts of walks of life, and you see a lot of people coming here for different reasons. And you're actually one of the first people I've talked to who really seems to want to get a true cultural experience out of Thailand. Even myself, I'm not going to lie. I mean, I'm here to get in shape. I'm here to interview and to immerse myself in the martial arts culture, but not so much the Thai culture itself. Yeah. So, do you feel really connected to the Thai culture, the Thai people, in the time you've spent here?
Yes and no. I've also traveled around Thailand, and my placement here, I should say, was completely random.
Your placement in Phuket?
Yeah.
Okay.
So the orientation was in Bangkok, and there was about 60 people here to teach, and I had no idea where I had been stationed.
Okay.
And then I was the only one that had been hired in Phuket. So after my orientation, my instructor or my boss came to get me, and I flew to Phuket, and it ended up being one of the biggest places for Muay Thai. So I kind of lucked out on that.
Yeah, but you made it happen. Yeah, I mean, it's your initiatives that got you here. You know,
and it was actually my degree
because
they wanted specific science majors. But I have traveled to other parts, and I would say that the culture is different in Phuket, more or less because of the tourism and all the money that brings in. But when you really go up north, it's hard not to connect to stuff like that.
Yeah, describe one of your favorite experiences up north, like a real Thai cultural experience.
Oh my gosh!
Like, if one of your friends, your family was like, "Yeah, I'm coming to Thailand. Tell me one thing I have to see or do." What would you say?
One of the Thai things that I experienced, I was in Chiang Mai with my father for those 2 weeks of traveling, and he was sick. As many people do.
There's a bit of a stomach adaptation period.
A little bit.
Digestive period.
I had been here for about 7 months already, so I was quite well adapted. So I ended up being able to explore Chiang Mai by myself, and I was just looking for a place to eat, walking the streets, going back and forth. And I saw this interesting, restaurant bar, and it looked like people were having fun. So I just kind of popped my head in, and I said, "Are you guys still serving food?" Because it was later. And the Thai woman, "Oh, yes, come in. We have big buffet. My friend made food, whatever." I'm like, "Oh, okay. How much is it?" And she's like, "Oh, no, it's free. It's my birthday. I own the bar." Like,
awesome.
I mean, they're totally inviting, and
That's
they're
really
very
cool.
family. And she's like, "Hey, there's this lonely white girl who's looking for food."
And she's hungry.
Yeah, and that is a big thing with Thai cultures. If you even mention food, like, you will... Yeah, they will feed you till their heart's content.
Yeah, I've noticed that quite across many Asian places. Have you ever been to Singapore?
I have, but I lived a lavish lifestyle. I was visiting friends who had a little bit of money.
Okay.
And they were moving back to the United States like a week after I left. So
they
they also were trying to live it up. Yeah,
okay.
so... But Singapore, man, they
have those huge food courts almost on every street corner, and they're just designed for people to eat endlessly all the time.
We went to the it was on Orchard Street, and it was known for Tom Cruise gets the dumplings and stuff, like
some sort of dim sum place.
A dim sum place, but it was in this basement of a mall. It was so busy, but it was phenomenal. And yes, you just keep on ordering and bringing food and.
Yeah, I know a woman there who's she has got a restaurant. She's an event planner, and she was like, whenever you throw big events here, they don't care about, for example, if there's an open bar or if there's alcohol. They're just like, what's the food? We want there to be as much as possible. So Singapore again is a real place that the food is a really integral part, I think, of their social and cultural experience.
It is, and oddly enough, that's what I was most worried about moving here. I lived a very sheltered lifestyle in St. Louis, and I was like, "Mom, I'm already skinny. I'm going to lose weight. Like, this is going to be bad." And now I can't imagine not having some kind of Asian food around me.
Okay, so you get to Phuket a little bit by luck, a little bit by initiative. When and where did you start your Muay Thai training?
Well, I had been here for a few months because I didn't really have the money built up to start training. So on our first real vacation, all the other teachers kind of went on island vacations, scuba diving, enjoying Thailand. And I just decided to get beat up for 4 days straight. So I kind of gym hopped to figure out which one that I liked the most. I went to Tiger first, went to a beginner's class there. I tried one in Bang Tao, Sumali up by the Heroines Monument, and Phuket Top Team. Yeah, so it was a very long 4 days of me getting really beat up in every gym I went to.
Okay, and what were your experiences? What were your thoughts on each one?
Sumali, actually everywhere, it was low season, so there weren't that many people there. So as I'm gassing in every single exercise we do, all the attention is also on me. And it was pretty obvious I had done Muay Thai before. So of course you get the question half an hour into training, when you fight. Like, they're so eager to just put people in the ring just because of the money and the betting. And it's like, whoa, slow down. I can't even make it through a workout yet. But yeah, I liked Sumali, but there weren't enough people there. And Tiger's intermediate class ended up being really helpful. I liked it.
Okay.
But I settled on PTT. It was a little bit smaller, and I think it helped a little bit more with my confidence level, not being drowned out by so many people, because Tiger is a very large
yeah, it's a big
gym.
Facility, and there's a lot of 8-packs walking around. There's a lot of beasts.
It is intimidating.
Yeah.
It is very intimidating at first. Ended up at PTT because it was smaller and because of the times. They had a 5 o'clock class 3 times a week, and I didn't get out of my teaching job until 4 o'clock, so I didn't really have to be late to any classes. It was a way to get the most out of my money for my training. So
Okay. So quite quickly, you evolved into getting your first professional fight.
yes, I fought 5-6 weeks after my first day of training at PTT.
I suppose in the United States that would have just been unheard of.
Completely. I didn't even know at that 6-week mark. I knew about less than 2 weeks in advance before my fight. So here I am just chilling, finally getting comfortable in a gym, and they're like, oh, you fight number 11? I'm like, it's the 31st of August. That's in, 10 days, 11 days. They're like,
Yep.
oh, no, it's easy. I'm like, easy for you to say with 300 fights. I've had nothing, so...
Yeah, and being born and raised into this.
Right, like...
And being a dude.
Yes. I'm
You
like,
know?
I'm 30 years old. My shins have never taken that contact. I quite enjoy my face, so I'm nervous about the elbows, like... My face is kind of my priority. I'll do a lot. I'll do a lot to protect my face.
Then you've chosen a bizarre way to preserve the integrity of your face.
Yes.
So how'd that fight go? What was your opponent like?
Oh, God. Typical Thailand. I walk in. She's bigger than me. I got really nervous. They said that she didn't have any fights. Come to find out she did. But I got some advice from Jay Tonkin, who is a Muay Thai fighter. He lives up north now, but he used to train with us. And I said, what's your advice? And he said, don't go batshit crazy. Apparently I didn't listen very well because I went batshit crazy. And she just came in with a bunch of leg kicks and her head down. So she obviously wasn't that experienced. And my hands were landing, and I kind of went nuts with them. End of the first round.
So you were just throwing a lot of combos, just really giving it?
Yes.
Okay.
It was just, it had to feel good. I know it felt good. And part of me just wanted to get out of there as quick as possible because I was just so nervous about checking kicks and getting elbows and all the normal stuff.
Well, I think for most first-time fighters, there must be a fantasy of going in and whipping your first opponent's ass in destructive, violent, impressive fashion.
That, and you just really don't know how to control that nervous energy and that adrenaline. So even though you want to, your brain says slow down and your body says something completely different. Yeah, so they told me to slow down. That was pretty much their advice. And I landed a pretty good combo in the first 10 seconds, and the ref stopped in the second round.
All right, excellent. So you win your first professional fight in emphatic fashion, despite not listening to your corner advice.
Of course.
How quickly did you take another fight?
It was less than 2 weeks later.
Because you must have been relatively unscathed.
I was unhurt. I was completely unhurt. Even her leg kicks, I believe if you watch the video, I checked a couple of them, but it really didn't have much on them, so I was okay. So yeah, 2 weeks later, I went in, and it was 180% different. It was
so big step up in competition.
Yeah, I was expecting like a gradient of progress that just did not happen. I went from 0 to 100. This girl was so composed, really strong kicks, typical Thai.
That must be intimidating when you get that composed adversary, right?
But you don't know until you're in the middle of the first round. That's the thing, is I'm thinking like, okay, this is going to be like the last one a little bit. No.
We can all fake it till we make it, and then you're there, right? Yeah.
Yes. But I could tell that she didn't take me seriously.
Okay.
I'm sure a lot of Thai girls don't take Farangs very seriously. Western girls have a tendency to clobber instead of fight, especially when they're inexperienced. And I did not. I fought more like a Thai girl, so it was a very technical and a very good fight. And first time I swept her in the first round, like I said, it's a look that I will never forget. And
so you dropped her on her keister.
Oh, I did. It was a good sweep. And she just looked up, and it was like a look of...
It's on.
Let's play.
All right.
Let's play.
Yeah.
Like Thais, when they get hit, they just smile and nod, and they're like, yeah, let's go. Let's
okay.
go.
So how'd that end?
There was about 10 seconds left in the third round. I hyperextended a punch, and I pulled a muscle in my neck, so it stopped due to injury, but man, I wholeheartedly believe I was winning.
Now, did that injury, was that something that you had before, or was it actually generated from that movement in that fight?
I was in a car accident many, many years ago, so every once in a while it gets aggravated, although I do believe the Thai way of not really warming up. You just get rubbed with the oil and the Vaseline and then thrown into a ring. I'm sure that didn't help very much.
Yeah, the oil isn't going to warm you up that much.
Yeah, like it's a massage and stuff for maybe 5-10 minutes. Then you shadow box. They actually laughed at me my first fight because I brought my gloves. And they're like, what'd you bring those for? I'm like, to warm up. And they're just like, they didn't know what I was talking about. So they don't. Like, you just get rubbed down with Muay, Vaseline, and you shadow box, and that's your warm up for a fight.
Wow.
So
yeah,
it's definitely interesting. I've had to get used to a lot of different things.
So you hyperextended a muscle in your neck?
It was a punch that I reached too far from,
okay.
And I just don't think I was adequately ready for that, and it just kind of pulled straight down my back, and
so they stopped the fight because you just couldn't continue?
I instantly cramped up, and my arm had to be put in a sling, and I was on drugs 30 minutes later to try and get it to relax. And
wow. So what were the further ramifications of that injury?
I just took a week off, really, a week and a half, and then usually go light with clinching and sparring, getting hit, but usually reoccurs maybe once a year for the last 7-8 years. It was a whiplash injury from when I was younger. So after that fight, though, what did that injury linger? Did it continue to plague you, or did you just move into your next fight pretty quickly? I fought a month later. Yeah, I had my first 10 fights in a matter of 11 months, and I even went on vacation.
Okay.
So it's Thai, and that even wasn't as many fights as they wanted me to take. Like, normally people fight every 2 to 3 weeks.
10 fights in 11 months.
Mm-hmm.
Damn.
Yeah. So
did you get any more significant injuries during that period?
No. After that, my neck was usually fine until recently. Back in December, I got hurt again. But my shins, man, check and kicks. Holy shit.
Lumpy.
Yes, they are. I think it was a month. It was almost a month after one fight that I could not kick pads because it hurt so bad. Like, I even wore padding over them.
Jesus.
But after it's okay, then they schedule a fight because I can still box and knee and do stuff like that and run. So technically I'm in fight shape. So as soon as I'm ready to kick again, a week later I was in the ring. Like, it's just bam, bam, bam. Like, yeah.
Excellent. Okay, so you knock out 10 fights in roughly the same amount of months. Mm-hmm. You come out relatively injury-free. Mm-hmm. What happened at PTT? Why did you change camps?
Little bit of a falling out, of course, as a lot of things happen here. I got scheduled for a fight in Bangkok, and it was supposed to be a huge step up for me. I was asked to fight this girl, Jade Marissa, and she's quite well known with Thai people. Her dad is a promoter. She's half English, half Thai, so she is known for being very pretty as well. Okay. And I said yes.
You're Asian.
Yeah.
You're Asian.
Yes.
No, it makes for some interesting crossbreeding.
It is, but it's beautiful. Yep. I mean, really is beautiful. I have a very semi-racist name from teaching with it, and I call them the halvesies. Okay. But they're special. I mean, to automatically have two cultures into your life and to have those features is just amazing. Anyway, I digress. So yeah, I started training hard. I was training with a different trainer, Kru Lamtong, who is one of my favorites at Phuket top team still. And I was in the best shape I'd ever been. And they changed my opponent, as can happen. So they said it was a no-name. I'm like, oh, okay. And then changed again. And about 6-7 days before the fight, some pictures surfaced on Facebook With my face on it, saying that I was supposed to be on Angel Extreme in Bangkok.
So you mean like fight posters?
Yes.
Okay, the promotional material started arising.
Yes.
Okay.
And I saw them because somebody else, a mutual friend, she was fighting and he was trying to promote her. And I'm like, dude, that's my face too. Like, excuse me, like I'm fighting on this in 6 days. Like, holy crap. So my main trainer, the manager, and the owners of the gym claim to not know anything about this, which I think is just unheard of. And the fight poster said that I was fighting a girl who is known for elbows. Her nickname is the Killer Elbow, and she's had over 100 and some fights. Yeah, that made me a little nervous.
Your face was cringing at this point.
Yes. I had no idea. I was freaking out, and then I'm like, okay, well, I can do this. And then a different fight poster came out, and I was fighting somebody different. And at that point, I just got this sick feeling like something's really wrong. Like, I don't know what I'm walking into. My gym doesn't know what I'm walking into.
Well, the thing is this, I mean, and your pictures have to get to those posters via somebody.
Yeah.
Somebody saying, hey, take our fighter and get them involved with this event. And you basically couldn't get answers as to who was doing that.
It gets better. I had to be put in outfits. So I had taken the pictures. I didn't know what they were for. I'm in a wedding dress and a prom dress in these pictures with my hair done and everything.
What the hell?
Yes.
So explain this. It's called Angel Fights, is that it?
Angel Fights, yes. It is.
And what's it sounds like they've got their own kind of little vibe going on. What
that is what female Muay Thai in Thailand aspires to. Like how guys like to fight in Ratchandran and Lumpini. Those are traditional stadiums that are big names, and those are dreams realized.
Yeah, that's where legends are made.
Right, but females aren't allowed there. In fact, if you've ever been there, they have a sign by the ring that says females have to stand back from the ring so many feet or whatever. Like, it's a curse for women to be close to that ring.
Oh, yeah. So it gets borderline sexist there.
Right. Okay. Borderline? Yeah. No, it is. So Angel has created this event, and obviously they're called Angels because they're pretty fighters. They pick attractive women that can kick ass, and they put makeup on them, put them in some scary outfits, and then have them go beat each other up for entertainment.
I want to see it now.
Which it started out...
Why have I never heard of this?
Look it up.
Do they only hold events in Bangkok?
Yeah, Bangkok is where like the big fights are. But they only did one tournament a year, and I believe it was at 57 or 58 kgs. So I wouldn't have been okay for that anyway. I fight at 52. I'm rather light. Okay. But they began to hold events as, female fighting across the world has gotten bigger.
Right.
So their first event was the one I was supposed to be on, and now they hold them like every month. Okay. But no, it's a big promotion in Thailand. It's promoted in the papers, on TV. It is a televised event. It's huge, conferences, press releases, like you do interviews, pictures, So ultimately for a lot of women competing in this sport, that's where they'd like to end up. You were just unaware of what was going on. You felt like you were being mismanaged, misused, and poorly promoted. In a nutshell. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right, so that ultimately led to the dissolution of your working relationship with Phuket Top Team.
Right, because I refused to fight.
Okay, so you refused to fight, but you also refused to give up. What was the next step?
Well, they ended up being more worried about their image than mine. So that led to me leaving, and I kind of just felt lost, but I didn't know if I was ready to leave Thailand yet. I still think I have a tremendous amount to learn, and I wanted to stay, but I didn't know if I could. So I planned a vacation to just kind of clear my head. I went to Singapore, Bali, and then I had a Tiger Muay Thai sponsored fighter, Matthew Semper, reach out to me from my Facebook and asked if I needed to talk about anything, and he was there for me because he's obviously lived here before and he knows how hard it is for fighters. So I reached out to him, and with his coaxing, along with John Priest and Woody and some of the other Tiger people I've gotten to know, I tried Tiger again.
Good.
After the first experience, and it was completely different, and I fell in love with the fighters ring and the trainers, and they're just phenomenal. And
so when did you join them? When did you decide to take another run at this, and this time with Tiger?
I came back from vacation in December, mid to late December.
Okay.
And unfortunately, I suffered an injury which has kept me from training 100%, and I've done what I could.
Okay. But now, what injury is that?
Again, a neck injury is very fickle. Likes to keep me on my toes, but I don't know whether it was a compressed disc or a herniated disc in my cervical, C7 and C6, but it has caused neuropathy, the loss of feeling down my shoulder and my arm, which is not really good for fighters.
Yeah, that sounds like the Antichrist for fighters.
It is, especially for Muay Thai with all the clinching.
Yeah.
It's very difficult. I've been trying to work around it as much as I can. It's been a mental battle. Are
you finding quality treatment for that in Thailand? I mean, what's your take? I mean, you studied this, you've applied this. What's your take on the kind of like the health situation, the healthcare situation here?
Healthcare kind of sucks here.
Does it?
It does.
I mean, I know I got injured a couple times last year, and I just needed a couple like shots anti-inflammatory shots, just had muscles that were jacked up, and the service was good. The treatment worked. I didn't have anything bad to say, but I didn't have something as debilitating as what you are apparently dealing with.
I've been to the hospital a few times over the 2 years I've been here, and more of their theories are shots and pills, and here you go.
Yeah.
I didn't think that was going to help this. So, as an American, I seek alternative medicine options, chiropractors, physiotherapists, massage therapists, all stuff like that. And that is difficult to find quality treatment in Thailand, and when you do it, it is rather expensive, especially as a fighter. I don't make a lot of money. I don't have sponsors. This is just me doing everything I can to stay afloat. And a chiropractor that I found it was 2,500 baht per session, and 2,000 for follow-ups. And I saw him twice. Quickly. Yeah, I saw him twice, and I got the feeling back, but of course, me not sitting on my ass until everything's 100% healed, go back to training. So,
wow.
So I still deal with it off and on. But the treatment, it's very expensive. I ended up spending over 10,000 baht, and for a fighter, that's a crap ton of money.
Well, that's probably a couple fight salary, no?
Yep, it is, and that's a month and a half of my rent, and it's just very difficult.
Is fighting your primary or only source of income now?
Now it is. When I got through 6 months of teaching, I knew that I wanted to stay and I wanted to learn. And PTT gave me that option that when I finished teaching, they would sponsor my training if I was full-time. Okay. So I began saving a lot of money of my teaching money to try and stay without working. And then I got to a point with my injury that I was spending money, and I actually sold one of my guitars at home to try and stay more. So sacrifice is a word I know quite well for trying to do as much as I can here.
Crazy. How are you feeling now?
Right now it's
on a scale of on a percentile.
I can't think of it. I mean, I'm fighting.
You're ready to fight, all right?
Ready or not, here I come, right?
Okay. When's your fight?
A week from today. It's Monday, the 16th, at Patong Stadium.
Okay.
So,
and that will be your debut for Tiger Muay Thai.
Mm-hmm. And the first time, this is the longest I've had a break in fighting since I've been here. So,
all right. So anxious. It sounds like this is going to be a new benchmark for you to see where you're at.
Definitely.
Okay.
So,
you happy with your training?
I am. You get to know some trainers quite well when you've been places, and the training can become static, and they can get to know you, and if you're tired, they'll go easier on you, or they'll tend to talk some, or they know you. It's life. And that's the thing at Tiger that I haven't gotten that respect. They see a lot of people come in and out, and they don't get that close to many of them. So every time I'm there to work, and they're there to work me. And it's just I get pretty hard training there, and I get to work with a couple, not just one, a couple phenomenal trainers, and when you go with different styles, it's always emphasis on different things. So yeah, it keeps you on your toes. It keeps you working. I try my best.
Okay, well, I definitely want to come see this fight. I believe Marcel Gaines is fighting on the same card.
He is.
I'm a big fan of Marcel as well. Yeah, it's been cool. I've been training a bit with him as well. This is exciting. Obviously for you, yeah, it's probably going to be more of an internal than an external conflict.
Usually is, right?
With a bit of ring rust.
Mm-hmm. It's a
coming
highly
out of the injury.
anticipated event at Tiger in the Fighters Ring because I am the only girl as well right now.
Okay.
So they've been waiting. They've been seeing me come in and out, and I know a lot of people are...
Yeah, it's funny you mention that too, because I was out here last year and went to a plethora of fights, and I didn't see any women fight. And then I came out this year, and I went and saw Magnus Johansson fight and Marcel, and there was already a bunch of women on the card, and I was like, oh, okay. And there was even some young ones. I mean, sometimes you see the 6, 7, 8-year-old boys. Well, there was like 6, 7, 8-year-old girls. So yeah, that's true. That so you're right now you'll be the only female Muay Thai fighter representing Tiger.
They do have other fighters, but they're not the sponsored fighters.
Okay.
I am the only one. Frida, who is also very talented. I did not get a chance to meet with her or work with her. She is taking a break from Tiger right now, but she is another female fighter, Muay Thai fighter for Tiger. But other than that, yeah, it's me.
All right, Shauna, it's been a pleasure hearing your story. I can relate a lot to the desire to, seek out adventure and risk taking in the world. It's always cool to meet other people who have decided to just make life what they want it to be, as opposed to what most people believe it needs to be by sort of Western conventions, if you will. I know it's inspiring to hear that, and it's inspiring to see a woman dig deep into what is traditionally a very male-dominant sport. Yes,
I knew that was
to put it mildly, right? It
is very difficult, and that's why I respect female professional athletes in a way that I could never respect a man. It's a different level of
absolutely
training. Yeah.
And listen, I'm a guy, and I love fights. I'm the world's biggest fight fan. Everybody knows that, but I would not step in there competitively. So my hat's off to you. It's very honorable, and it's very courageous.
Thank you.
Yeah. So we'll definitely go to your fight. We got to get some eyeballs on that. How can people follow you on social media?
I have 2 Facebooks. I have an athlete page that updates all my fight information only.
Okay.
It's called Shauna LD. My personal page has also gotten quite a response simply because the name is Princess Cannonball.
Okay.
That is now my second nickname in fighting. First one being Lil Dynamite, the LD.
Okay.
Now Princess, which I'm far from a princess.
That's your future Angel Fights nickname.
I know, Shauna Princess. I'm like, I don't know if I like this, but I also am new to Instagram, but I do have it. It's Shauna TNT.
Okay, so. No Twitter for you.
I would say what's that, but I don't know. I'm not very good yet. I'm trying.
All right. Trying. Yeah, so. it's a lot of different languages out there on social media, man. Yeah. And Twitter is definitely the most kind of alien for sure. I'm getting used to it and getting up to speed on it myself right now.
One of my friends at home always just said, "I don't computer," and that's kind of me.
I'm not a pewter.
Yeah. It's the social media. I've never just been drawn to my computer and my thoughts and stuff like that.
Yeah,
so.
I noticed that with a lot of fighters that I'm interviewing. It's funny. Some of them are really aware of the necessity of the promotional aspect of it and really embrace it and really get involved with it. Yeah. And then others are just like, just let me train, dude. Mm-hmm. I just want to go in there and knock teeth out and get mine smashed and and stay busy.
I'm somewhere in the middle.
Somewhere in the middle.
I understand what social media can do for you, but I also gravitate towards I just want to train. I just want to do it. I don't want to sit there and ask people, hey, will you take a 15-second video for me? But, yeah.
Excellent. Well, we'll be rooting for you in exactly 1 week, and hopefully you emerge victorious and unscathed.
Great.
Awesome.
Thank you.
It was really a pleasure having you on the show, Shauna.
Thank you.
Thank you for being my first female invitee.
Oh, yes.
And I'd love to get you back in for round 2 after your fight so we can get your thoughts and feelings on how that goes down.
My thought is that knockout felt good.
There you go. Yeah, see, it's the law of attraction.
Yes.
Hard at work.
Visualization.
Excellent. Excellent. This was the Trash Talk MMA podcast. I'm your host, Antoine Pelletier, with my guest, Shauna from Tiger Muay Thai. It's been a pleasure, guys, and we'll catch up with you tomorrow. Peace.
Thanks for listening to the Trash Talk MMA podcast. Be sure to visit trashtalkmma.com.
Smile on my face, behind my back, they talk trash.
And don't forget to follow Antoine on Twitter at Trash Talk MMA. Let us know you're listening. Use hashtag Trash Talk MMA.
Just boring because they do not understand it.
Yep.
So they like the K1 rules where you just knee once and then have to let go. They like more of the action. And I have the utmost respect for Muay Thai, its traditions, everything. And I just wanted to be the best at it. So I came to the Mecca.
So before getting into Muay Thai, though, you had an exposure in kickboxing. How did an appreciation or a desire to get involved with kickboxing even start? Like, what was your introduction into combat sports?
To be honest, I never was involved in very physical sports. I'm the youngest of 4 girls with no brothers, and it breaks my mom's.
So your father must have been a really bad person.
No, it's actually my mother that it breaks her heart. My dad is excited because I'm the most boyish, which obviously I'm not too boyish, but he's like, yep, I don't have sons, you're going to be the boy.
You're going to be the ass whooper of the family?
So I played some softball and a little bit of basketball. I hated soccer because there was so much running in it. Yep. I was actually kind of a lazy athlete when I was younger. I went to college. I didn't do anything except drinking. Those were my drinking Olympics. And then I became a personal trainer. My degree is in nutrition science and fitness. I slowly got into triathlons. I did a half Ironman.
No, it was a rewarding experience, and there's a beautiful resort up there. And yeah, we all drank too much.
Yep, it tends to happen here.
But now it's Monday, and we're back in the lab. We're back working, and gonna sweat it out. So what's on your schedule this week?
It's kind of hard not to sweat in Thailand. This week it's fight week, so a lot of training, a lot of focus, and attempt not to get hurt.
Okay, so Shauna, you are a Muay Thai fighter.
I am.
With a record of?
It's even 5-5.
5-5, and you're from St. Louis, Missouri.
Yes.
32 years old.
Don't say that out loud too many times.
So that's interesting. I mean, your story is going to be interesting for a multitude of reasons. First of all, you're my first female guest on the show, so thank you for coming in. I pride myself on diversifying my guests and their experiences in martial arts, and I think yours is an interesting case that we can tackle right now. So you've been training for how long?
With Muay Thai for maybe about 6 years or so. In Thailand, I've been here for 2.
Okay, and prior to that, you mentioned that you were training kickboxing back home.
Yeah, like in St. Louis, that's one of the reasons I moved here. In St. Louis, you don't do a lot with the elbows and the clinching because technically you can't. Especially in St. Louis, they're not interested in Muay Thai rules. A lot of people hold the view that the clinching...
Jesus.
And wanted something different. Did some research, and it seemed that Thai athletes were some of the most well-conditioned athletes in the world.
Yeah, it amazes me when you walk around the camp here, or just anywhere in Thailand, just the general fitness and low body fat percentage of people in general. People are just walking around shredded, and they're not going out of their way to be like that. It seems like a combination of the heat, the sweating,
diet too.
The diet, a lot of brown rice, just a lot of clean proteins, a lot of green veggies, a lot of healthy fresh fruit.
Yeah.
And then this constant state of being outdoors and being active, and these guys are just shredded.
They are. They are.
And they're not doing anything particular. Like us as Westerners, we kind of have to go out of our way to change away from the mainstream lifestyle to get even remotely close to that.
We do, and we have too much temptation to deviate from a healthy and active lifestyle. Yeah. A lot of people even use something as simple as it being colder outside to not be active outside when I loved running in cold weather. Like, that was my favorite time. I just loved the gear and, the fresh feeling. But here, I even respect them. The Thai trainers can be like, oh yeah, I fight next week. They don't run. They don't do anything. And for some reason...
Welcome to Trash Talk MMA.
Smile on my face, behind my back, they talk trash.
The #1 podcast for news and insight that matters in the world of mixed martial arts. Brought to you live and unfiltered from all four corners of the globe by MMA aficionado Antoine Peltier.
Yo, and welcome to the Trash Talk MMA podcast. I'm your host, Antoine Peltier, and on today's episode, I have another special guest, this time also emanating from the Tiger Muay Thai family, Miss Shauna Restivo. Shauna, how you doing?
Good, how are you?
I'm doing excellent. It's, what do we got, Monday, March 9th? I believe it was your birthday this past weekend?
It was, on Friday.
All right, so you're recovered and ready to train hard?
By recover, you mean not drinking and being old, yes. I am.
Yeah, I went up this weekend to, on that fundraiser that Tiger Muay Thai does.
Yes.
Along with Sam Baston and Joey Angeles and John Priest. And, we poisoned ourselves.
They do a lot of great community work, Tiger does.
Yeah.
So.
No, and it was cool. I've actually never done any charity work in my life. So
Why
that
not
that was the very first time. And
they can last 20 times longer than I do, and I run every day.
Yeah, it's really the difference between
a lifestyle,
and binge work, binge exercise, or binge clean eating.
Which is my week this week. No.
I was blessed with a mother who loves to cook, and I lived for 10 years in France, so I'm eating is a religion there, and it's diversity, and it's hard. It's hard to break away from those patterns and those rich, tasty foods, but there's something about the environment out here that I find it a lot easier to remain, or to get on a healthy pace, and and there's a support system here to encourage that.
Well, I think part of that is because you're surrounded by so many people that are into it, and when you have that support and when you have inspirations to do better and be better, it's easier for you. Whereas at home, you have to actively seek out a larger group of those people. And
I think as individuals, I know if I choose to prioritize something in my life, I go full blast at it. And just living healthy and being athletic has never been something that I've put that 100% dedication into.
Yeah.
I mean, in your case,